Ever wonder how a tiny creature like a mosquito can cause such a big problem? Mosquitoes, small, seemingly insignificant, yet capable of causing immense trouble. They're often viewed as merely annoying pests, or worse, as carriers of deadly diseases. But did you know there's much more to these creatures than meets the eye? Their intricate life cycle and behaviors paint a picture of complexity that challenges our common perceptions. To understand why mosquitoes are more than just pests, let's delve into their fascinating life cycle. The life of a mosquito isn't as simple as you might think. Let's dive into the 4 distinct stages of a mosquito's life cycle: the egg, larva, pupa, and adult stages. Each stage carries its own unique characteristics and challenges that these little creatures must navigate. The journey begins with the egg stage. Female mosquitoes lay their eggs in standing water, which can range from a small puddle to a vast lake. These eggs are tiny, about the size of a pinhead, and the female can lay up to a couple of hundred at a time. They float on the water surface like a tiny raft, and under ideal conditions, they hatch into larvae in just a day or two. The larval stage is the next phase. Mosquito larvae, often called wigglers, live in water and come up to the surface to breathe. They feed on organic matter in the water, growing rapidly and shedding their skin, or molting, 4 times. This stage lasts approximately 7 to 10 days, depending on the species and the environmental conditions. Next up is the pupa stage. Unlike many insects, mosquito pupae are active and free-swimming. They don't eat during this stage, but they move around with a twitching motion if disturbed. This stage is a time of transformation where the mosquito changes from a larva into an adult. This metamorphosis happens inside a protective case, and it typically takes a couple of days. Finally, we reach the adult stage. Once fully developed, the adult mosquito breaks free from the pupal case. It rests on the water's surface until its body dries and hardens, and then it's ready for flight. The lifespan of an adult mosquito varies widely, from a few days to a couple of weeks, depending on the species and conditions. So, from egg to buzzing pest, the life of a mosquito is a complex journey. While we might not appreciate their itchy bites, it's fascinating to consider the intricate life cycle these tiny creatures go through. Mosquitoes are more than just bloodsuckers. They have unique habits and characteristics that set them apart. Let's dive into the fascinating world of these tiny creatures. Mosquitoes, believe it or not, have a preference when it comes to feeding. Female mosquitoes are the ones that bite. They require blood to produce eggs. Males, on the other hand, are more into plant nectars. They're the vegetarians of the mosquito world, but it's not just about what they eat. It's also about when they eat. Some mosquitoes feed at dawn, dusk, or during the night. Others are daytime feeders. This feeding schedule is usually determined by the species of mosquito. Now, let's talk about their breeding habits. These creatures love standing water. From ponds to buckets, if the water is still, it's a potential breeding ground. They lay their eggs on the water surface, and in just a couple of days, these hatch into larvae. It's not all about blood and breeding, though. Mosquitoes play a crucial role in the ecosystem. They are a food source for various species of birds, frogs, and other insects. However, their reputation is marred by their ability to transmit diseases, such as malaria, dengue, and Zika virus, making them one of the deadliest creatures on the planet. The lifespan of mosquitoes is another interesting aspect. Females can live up to a month, while males usually only live about a week. Their brief lives are marked by the constant search for food and a place to lay eggs. Lastly, it's worth noting that not all mosquitoes are alike. There are over 3,000 species of mosquitoes worldwide, each with its own set of characteristics and behaviors. Some are harmless, while others are notorious disease carriers. Understanding these habits and characteristics can help us manage mosquitoes and the risks they pose. So the next time you swat at a mosquito, remember, there's more to these tiny creatures than meets the eye. Let's recap what we've learned about mosquitoes. These tiny creatures have a fascinating life cycle, developing from eggs to larvae, then to pupae, and finally into the buzzing adults we all know. They possess unique habits and characteristics. They're most active at dawn and dusk. They rely on stagnant water to breed, and only female mosquitoes bite. So, the next time you swat away a mosquito, remember, there's more to these tiny creatures than meets the eye.